Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the Cardboard Crafter, and I'm in the craft room today making these mini albums or ephemera pockets, whatever you want to use them for. And they're great little pockets for all sorts of things. Been around for a very long time, so I thought I'd have another go at them and maybe do a few to stash bust one of my paper pads, but also to get myself some stuff for Happy Mail. So you've got your little booklet, your little album, and then you've got pockets, 4 pockets to put in little tags or whatever. You can put little booklets in there, little tabs like that. Yeah, whatever you fancy. You could put ephemera in there and send that as Happy Mail, anything you like. And the size that you make depends on the size of your paper. So this one is done by 11 by 12. There is this one I'd started but then realised it was a bit small for what I wanted. This was 9.5 by 11, and this one measures 2 3/4 by 4 inches. So if you want to do that, then that's exactly the same fold, exactly the same method. It's just that the paper that you start off with is 9.5 by 11 on that one. But these ones much bigger, so that's 5 by 3 on those. So let me pop these to one side and I'll show you what you need to make them. So bring those in. So get yourself a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and paper or very lightweight card. Don't use regular card because we're doing folds, and card is just too thick. It doesn't really work unless it's a very glossy, very fine paper. So you need a 12 by 12, and you're going to cut 1 inch off one end. So we have an 11 by 12. Then you'll need 2 pieces that are 6 1/4 by 5 1/4. And for your inserts, now I cut mine at 4 3/4 by 2 3/4, because that's the look I like. You can make them slightly wide. You can go up to 3 inches across, and slightly more on the length. I wouldn't go more than about 4 7/8, because we've got a little bit of foldings and what have you. So that's what we'll start off with. So I'm going to grab my ruler because I just want to check that I'm on the right side. Yeah, so this is my 12-inch side there. And the first thing we're going to do is fold it in half. And as I said, this is a project. You don't need scoreboards or any fancy tools to do it. I am using my bone folder to reinforce my scores, my folds, but actually, the back of a knife, or your scissors, or grab your scissors and use the handles, or the handle end of a knife. I wouldn't use anything like that. When I talk about knife, I mean a dinner knife. Even a pencil. You can even use your pencil to do that. But I'm going to use my bone folder. So we've taken it and we've folded it. So there's our 12-inch. Just double checking that now I've been talking. Yeah, 12-inch. So that's our 12-inch side, and I've folded it in half. And the next thing you're going to do is fold it back again. So we're folding it into 4s. Now, if you have got a scoreboard and you're going, oh, I don't want to do it like that, but I would like to have a go at it, then you would put it in your scoreboard and you would score at 3, 6 and 9. But this is my no fancy tools video. So it's all right. Sometimes you have to stop and watch what you're doing to make sure you're doing it properly. So you're folding your paper like that. So you've got like an M shape happening. Okay. And when you've done that, fold it out. So you've got it back in half again. and you're going to take your corner. So this is my open end, this is my fold, and you're going to take the corner of your fold and you're going to bring it up so that this edge here between the fold and there, that now lines up with your fold. I'm going to grab my pencil and show you what I mean. There's my pencil. Hopefully you can see that now. So from there, you're going to bring this edge up to line up here. So we're like a triangle shape that we're creating there. So bring that up nice and close. Don't go over. That'll cause you problems later on. And then fold that down. Bring it up and fold it back on itself. So that crease you've just made, crease back the other way. Okay. Then go to this end and do exactly the same. So if I draw my pencil mark on there, oops, on there. So again, this bit needs to line up with that bit there. So we'll bring that up and get as sharp as you can on the corner, but don't go over the crease mark. And again, reinforce that, open it out and fold it back on itself like that. Okay, so now our fold will go both ways. Once you've done that, you're going to do exactly the same on these two edges here. So again, I've got my crease mark here. So if I make that there like that so you can see. And now I'm going to bring my point across. So again, from this edge to the point, I'm going to bring it up to there. So I do like to pop my nail there on the corner just to hold it so I don't go too far over. And again, crease it down. There's no need to fold this one back on itself. We'll leave it like that. If you're using patterned paper, then use the pattern you want on the outside underneath. Okay, so I'm going to do the same on this one. I've already got my line there from when I did this fold. Bring that up, lay it down on that crease, not going over, and reinforce with whatever you've got to hand. And then come across to this side. Let's move those out the way. And we're going to do the same on this corner. Let's grab my pencil so I can show you. There's my crease mark. It does go all the way down. I just haven't done the whole thing. Again, this bit, bringing that point in, line it up with that crease mark without going over, and reinforce that fold. Yeah, reinforce that fold. And we're going to do the same on that corner now as well. So bring that across, push it down, finger fold it, and then reinforce it. I mean, you don't need to reinforce it if you don't want to, if you can get a good crisp, but obviously folding using something like a bone folder or the back of your scissors, it really just reinforces everything for you. So now we've got to there. Now what I want to do is to bring these bits, I want to bring them in like that. So what I'm doing is I'm forcing them to go in like that. So actually what might help is by folding it that way, all the way across, and then folding these back on themselves like that. That might actually help it a little bit more. So push down so that they're going in like that. Keep pushing until you get your paper folding over like that, and then bring up both sides like that, and you end up with that shape. You've got these there, and when you open that up, you've got the triangle shape because those bits that we did are hidden in there, and the same on there. and we open it up and we've got those. Okay, so once you're at that stage, you're going to hold it like this, reinforce all of those fold marks, crease marks, whatever you want to call them. Reinforce all of that really carefully, and then open up the one leaf. So I've got it on my desk and I'm just bringing that top one across, tucking those in to make sure they're underneath. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the one leaf. I do it this side, you'll see. So I've left that bit there. I'm just bringing up that one piece. And what I want to do is bring this point up, and hopefully you can see the crease mark there. I want the point to fold over along towards this crease mark, but I want it to come across. It will do it naturally. It'll want to go like that because you've got your paper here pulling. So it'll want to fold from these 2 points across like that. So bring them up, bring it over, look at your points, make sure you're lining it up with this crease mark like that. And once you're happy, everything's in its right place, use your fingers to crease down. There is a crease underneath this triangle, so use your fingers to crease that down. Then get your bone folder, whatever you're using, and reinforce that. It's very important to reinforce that crease there. Once you've done that, open it up and you've got this piece. Okay, this piece. And you're going to do exactly the same with this piece. Again, it wants to come up, but it only wants to come up so far. Make sure your point is lining up with this crease mark like that, and use your fingers to push it down, and your bone folder like that. Now we do have a little bit of a gap, so what I'm going to do is bring over that fold a little bit more to sort of not quite line up but closer. It doesn't matter so much if you've got double-sided paper, so if you've got a pattern on both sides. It's only with the paper when it's got the white on the inside, but I can live with that. Or you can get your pencil or your pen or whatever, and just, you know, your inks, just colour that in like that so that it's not seen. It's less visible. I know that you can still see it, but that's because I've not got my inks. I'm just using my pencil. Okay, when we're at that stage, you're going to turn it round and do exactly the same at this end. So bring this end up, match it up to that point there. Where the paper wants to go, you're going to fold it down like that. Okay, and again, I got a bit of core showing there. So let's see if I can encourage this paper over a little bit more. Like that. There we go. Crease that down. So that's closed that gap a little bit, but I'm going to use my pencil just to ink that, well, colour that in for now. I would normally, if I had more time, I would grab my inks and do it. I might come back with one of my pens later on and fill that in like that. Okay, so once we're at that stage, we're going to open up the next leaf and do exactly the same with this one. So bring that up and line it up with here. It is more visible on this paper because it's so dark, but it's something I can live with and something I can repair. But there we go. And I'll get me, well, I'm going to get me pens later, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. Okay, and then just fold the whole thing across like that, and you now have the insert of your little album, your mini album. So if you open it, you've got your pockets there and there. and there on that. What I like to do, and you don't have to do this, but I do like to do it, is, so these are quite loose and a bit flappy sometimes. So what I do like to do is to come in with a little bit of glue. A little bit, that's just folded over a little bit there, so just putting that right. A little bit of glue and put it on this side, if I can get it to come out of the bottle. Just going down and across, and that's enough then to hold that in place. Don't worry, I can still go in with a pen in a minute. I'm going to turn it round and do the same on this side. So this side you don't need to, because the fold holds it down. So, and it's like an origami fold, so you don't have to do it. I just do it as a little bit of a extra, just to hold it in place. So there we go, that'll hold that one. And also with these, now if you open your album, because it's got a little bit of a bend, it will stay, your pages won't pop up. But because sometimes I will lay mine flat, I like to put a little bit of glue. So this one's going to go over the top of that one, so I'm just going to put a little bob of glue on there, not a lot, tiny little bit, and it's just enough to hold those two pieces together. And because I'm only putting it on the top one, I can still put my fingers all the way through like that. Okay, so that, you know me, I like to use my bone folder to push the glue into the paper or card. Okay, so that's that one done, and I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to do the same on these two here. So grab me glue and put a bit of glue there. I'm going to put a little bit right on that edge because it's rolled over a little bit for some reason. Use my bone folder to push that down like that. I'm going to do the same with this one. Open it up like that and push that down with my bone folder. Okay, and then I will always look and go, which side do I think, which way round do I think looks best? I think that way. So sometimes the bottom will be over the top of the top one. Sometimes the top one will be over the top of the bottom one. There's no right or wrong. So I've got all my gluing done. So what I'm going to do is fold it and use my bone folder to push all that glue in. I'm going to leave it to one side to dry. Let's pop that there out the way so it'll dry. And then I'm going to start working on these now. Whoops. So these are going to be my cover. So if you look inside, this is a different paper to this. So this is going to be my cover. So I need these, and I need 2 pieces of ribbon measuring around about 9 inches each. So I'm going to use some, what I do, and this is me, I mean, do whatever works for you. So I want, okay, so I'm going to just put these together like that. And I'm going to just by eye put my double-sided tape down, but I want to make sure that I'm putting it down you know, in the same place, so that I've not got one piece of ribbon this end and one piece of ribbon that end. You'll see what I mean in a sec. I'm just cutting myself a piece of double-sided tape. This is a roll I'm trying to use up. I've got a few more in the cupboard, but I've got 3 on the go, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. I just need 1 on the go. So I'm trying to use this one up. It's not the best double-sided tape because you can't rip it. You have to cut it every time. So There we go. So you see what I mean about lining it up? It just, for me, it's just, for me it works. But do whatever works for you, obviously. So I'm going to take the carrier tape off, if it will come. So no, it doesn't want to come. That's what I mean. It's not that it's, I've had this tape for a long time, and I think it's just, it works. It's still plenty sticky, but the carrier tape is just a pain. So I want to use it and get it out the way so that I can use some of my other tapes on my projects. Perhaps I should have used them on this project while the camera was rolling. So there's one. Let's get the other one, if it wants to come. Sometimes it's because you haven't pushed it in, isn't it? So come on, you know you want to. There we go. So there's my carrier gone. And then I'm going to bring in my ribbon, and I'm just going to trap. Now, I must remember, this is dots on one side, plain on the other. I want me dots down like that, so that my dots are on the outside. So again, I'm just using by eye to make sure I'm putting my ribbon in the same place. But again, use whatever works for you. Nearly there. Of course it's fiddly because I'm on camera. This was all working beautifully half an hour ago when I was making the last one. There we go. Right, and all I need to do now is get my scissors and cut a diagonal on one end. So, oh, that's a right mess, isn't it? Come on, Tracy, you can do better than that. So there's one diagonal. Let's try the other one, see if that works. Got ya. Come on. Oh, do you know what? I'll come back to it. Sometimes it's just not going to work, is it? It's just not happening. Right, so I've got these done now. Okay, so all I'm going to do is get my glue again, and I'm going to glue these shut like that. So that's why I was looking, because I want this to be my front and that one's going to be on the inside of my booklet. So I'm just going to use my glue, if it will come out. I'm just going to go all the way around the outside, and I'm not using much glue. It's a nice thing about these little nozzles, isn't it? You can really limit how much glue you're using. And because it is paper, I'm mindful of this is wet glue I'm using. So if you prefer to use, I don't know, Pritt Stick, solvent glues, double-sided tape, then feel free to do that instead of using, I mean, this is like a PVA that I've got in there. So use whatever works for you. So there's one. Push that into the paper. So there's one done. I'm going to grab my other one and do this one as well. And these then are the covers for the album. I didn't want a big, clunky, heavy chipboard cover. So sometimes just doubling over your paper can give you a more solid cover, but it's not as rigid as like I say, like a chipboard. I forgot to put glue on the ribbon, didn't I, on the other one? I always put a little bit of glue on the ribbon just so that it's held both sides like that. Okay, so again I'm pushing the glue into the paper like that. I'll pop that there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, and you don't have to do this, it's entirely up to you, I'm going to grab, if I can find it, of course it's vanished, yeah, I'm going to grab my marker. Now this is a black marker, and all I'm going to do is, because we joined papers there, I don't want the white core to show, so I'm just running around the edge of my paper. I'm on this paper leaning up against the book, so I'm starting here, butting up to it, and then running my paper there. You can see I'm more on this paper than I am on this, but it just covers up any white core that might be showing. And in fact, I'm going to go down the edge. This is a fold, so there won't be any, but it just gives you that sort of consistent frame because it's a bit lighter than the other papers I've used. So again, putting it down, butt it up and run it along. The ribbon's already there, so I've got to be careful not get too close to it, but I still want to cover up the core of that paper like that. So let me show you on this one, it's a bit darker. So the yellow paper, I'm starting on the yellow paper and butting up to the, so you can see I'm not on this paper, I'm on this paper, butting up to it and running down, and that just gives you a black edge on your paper and hides that white core. So that's that done. I can get rid of that. And now, where have I put that? There it is. So this should be nice and dry now. So there's my one side, there's my other. This is the one I want on the front. So I'm going to decide that's going to be my front. So all I'm going to do is glue that, hold on, that way round. Luckily it's non-directional paper. Yeah, so the ribbon has to come the open booklet side. So I'm just going to grab my glue again and glue all the way around it like that. And you don't need a ton of glue. There isn't a lot that comes out on these nibs, luckily, but you just need to have a little bit of a covering. I try to get as close to the edge as I can without going over it, because I don't want it to ooze. That's the other thing, I don't want the glue to ooze. Now let's move that one out the way. So what I want to do is, I've got 1/4 of an inch gaps, 1/4 of an inch allowance over the book, the little booklet here. So what I want to do is to line it up. I want it to go slightly over this side, but not too much. Let me just show you what I mean. So let's pop that on. So you can see you can see a little bit of the cover showing. So what you don't want to do is go too far over, so not like that. Let me just straighten that up a little bit and get that on there. I want a tiny bit to show through, so that's better. You can see a tiny little slither, but not enough to, because what you don't want is when you open the book is for the cover to butt up to this cover. You don't want this hitting each other so you can't open the book. So a tiniest bit of overlap, but not too much. Push that in. So there's the front of my book. Fold it over, get me glue again, and I'm going to glue on the white side and then bring in my other cover, and then I'm nearly done. So it's a great little project for something quick and easy, and it also uses up your 12 by 12s. What I've done is I've used a whole sheet to make this bit, and I've used almost half a sheet to make these covers. So I mean, and that the papers I'm using is a very old Dovecraft one, which I've had for, gosh, years and years. So I thought it's time to bust that stash. So hopefully by the end of today I'll have made a few more of these, and hopefully seen the end of that paper pad. So push that in. So this is the back of my album. So you can see now how my ribbons line up beautifully on there. So push that in. That's the front. Open it up and you've got the inside. Now the inserts are just, as I said earlier, 4 3/4 by 2 3/4, and they go in there. I mean, but I'm thinking I might do some like little booklet things to go inside or whatever. You can make it 3 inches across, which would take it to the edge of the book, but I like to have that little bit of a gap there on mine. So they go all in there like that, and they fit in very easily. I will come back in a bit and colour in those bits. That's the problem with using single-sided papers, but I haven't got any double-sided to hand. So there we go, there's another one. All I need to do now is to put some decoration on the front of the album, and that's another one done. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed watching that. I hope you're going to give it a go. And they're so quick and easy. I mean, it probably took longer cutting out the papers than it did doing all the folds, and once you get into the rhythm of it, you know, you just know what's coming, so you don't even have to think about it. It's something just to, and then you can have your creativity with whatever you want to put inside the albums. I was thinking, instead of having individual little tags like that, I might have one that is one sheet like that I'm going to fold in half, and then I've got like a little booklet in there which I can hook over and have it hanging out and do all sorts of things with it. It's great. Or fill it full of ephemera and send it to somebody. Anyway, hope you liked it. Hope you're going to have a go. If you do, let me know, tag me in, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.